It's good to see you, Zach.
It's good to be here. Good to see you again. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, and you've been up to an awful lot since I last saw you. You were
Oh,
in
man.
farm lending under the Biden administration.
Yeah. I think when we last visited, I had my dream job. I think I was the executive director at the IAC. And then I got the chance to go work for the administration heading up the Farm Service Agency, which was, again, another dream job. It's just the story of my life. I keep falling ass backwards into good situations. And then it's just my moral duty to try not to screw it up.
Well, now that you've had an opportunity to come home and to assess what went on in the Biden administration, what is your assessment? I mean, what were you able to do for ranchers and farmers?
Looking at where we're at now, I firmly believe that the global pandemic was the beginning of the farm financial crisis that we're now in. And the work of our administration with Congress staved the impacts of that off during our time there. We just didn't have enough time for the solutions to prevent it from happening or resurfacing to come to bear. We made a lot of investments in the critical infrastructure that the lack of which caused our store shelves to be empty. And we set about to try to fix that while we tried to stop the bleeding, if you will. And I think the data will bear out that we were successful. We kept producers on the farms. The last year of our administration, we had a record low number of bankruptcies. And I don't think that during our tenure, the Farm Service Agency direct lending portfolio foreclosed on anybody that didn't want to get out. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of federal lending for an entire administration's efforts to be focused on keeping producers on the farm. And we're seeing now what happens when you take a thoughtful, meaningful federal government out of the equation and the chips begin to fall where they may. We're seeing higher bankruptcies. I've heard of producer suicides in Arkansas, and we're seeing the erosion of the strongest market in the commodity sector, the cattle market, is taking hits almost every day from the conversations that are going on about imports of Argentine beef. Whether they're going to have any impact or not, they're having an impact on the market. And many of our producers use those market instruments as equity or as surety in their balance sheet and cash flow. And it's impacting their economic reality.
Whether or not the Argentina beef, has an economic impact, it's still a slap in the face to American producers because what happened to America first?
Absolutely. And I don't think it's a question that it's having an economic impact. If you take a look at the futures markets, those, while they are just numbers we see on the TV news every night, there are real people's money behind that. And there are people who don't have the ability to contract and lock their critters in for the same price that they could have before that Argentine beef import conversation started 2 weeks ago.
Zach, I got to tell you, as a consumer of beef, and married to someone who's been told to cut back on his beef consumption, I still like a really good steak. And frankly, I don't mind paying for it because I understand the consumer costs and the fact that we can't eat as much beef as we used to. I mean, I don't mind paying those prices.
There is a certain sentiment in the industry that folks shouldn't be complaining about the price of beef in the store because the pickups that we're driving are 10 times higher. I don't know if that's the way to keep folks engaged in eating beef. I think we should empathize and understand. Yeah, that may be the same price that I pay for my coffee, but coffee literally has an addicting substance in it that I can't get over. You're trying to sell me on beef, so let's sell them on beef, and let's sell them on the nutrition density, and let's sell them on the flavor, and let's sell them on how an entire family's menu can be built around that. But also let's sell them on the opportunity to go and buy it from your local beef grower. That store shelf isn't the only place to buy it. And with a small investment in a little chest type freezer, you can have enough beef to feed your family on hand for the price of one evening's worth of steaks, frankly, at a steakhouse. So there are options. And the more we can do to put the consumer and the producer in the same conversation, the more we're going to do to build a resilient food system that better serves us all. And then you know that money's getting to the producer. My daughter Kelsey does direct to consumer beef here. And one of the things that she has done and that I'm the most proud of is as soon as she got her business stood up, she went to start getting SNAP certified so that our local friends and relatives and neighbors and tribal members could use their nutrition benefits to buy locally grown, locally sourced, healthy grass-fed beef by the quarter or by the pound if they want to, or by the bundle, instead of having the only choice they've got going to the Lakota Thrifty Mart and buying whatever the food company brings in there. SNAP is a great program, but it's not at once a program to feed those that are hungry. It's a price support structure for American food. And we don't talk enough about that. The $30 billion a year that Congress bragged on cutting from SNAP in order to pay for the tax breaks and the other things in the big, beautiful bill is coming out of the American food economy. 30 billion a year. And the fact that right now we're talking about, well, we don't even talk about now. Let's talk about the last 5 years. When we were in office, we did a $4 billion program and got a lot of praise for it. This current iteration of what's going on is cutting 30 billion from the food system. And it not only is it going to hurt those folks that are going to go without on Monday, it's going to hurt the folks that are providing that food that shows up in those grocery stores when $30 billion worth of food isn't purchased this year. So there's short-term and long-term impacts to this cost-cutting phase that we're going through.
Well, at least now what China's supposed to get some soybeans, I guess. So that's progress anyway.
The measure of any agreement is going to be the trust that the parties have in each other to do as they say. And if on the one hand, we're doing that, and then on the other hand, we're talking about starting nuclear testing again, we've got some dissonance there and reason for them not to live up to their agreement. China's getting all of the soybeans they need, and we're subsidizing it by giving money to Argentina.
Thanks, Zach. It's great to talk to you. Appreciate it.
It's good to see you. Thanks for the opportunity.